Even if the world ends, music will still survive. Ustad Bismillah Khan, the most outstanding and world famous Shehnai player. He was the third classical musician to be awarded the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian honor in India. He also had the distinction of being one of the few people to be awarded all the top four civilian awards. Bismillah Khan was born on March 21, 1916 at Bhirumraut Ki Gali in Dumrao as the second son of Paigambar Khan and Mithan. He was named as Kamaruddin to rhyme with Shamsuddin, their first son. His grandfather, Rasul Baksh Khan, uttered Bismillah after looking at the newborn, and thus he was named Bismillah Khan. His ancestors were court musicians in the princely states of Bhojpur, now in the state of Bihar. His father was a Shehnai player in the court of Maharaja Keshav Prasad Singh of Dumrao estate, now in state of Bihar. Despite his fame, Khan's lifestyle retained its old world Varanasi charm. His chief mode of transport was a cycle rickshaw. A man of tenderness, he believed in remaining private and that musicians are supposed to be heard and not seen. He was a pious Shia Muslim and also, like many Indian musicians, regardless of creed, a devotee of Mother Saraswati. He often played at various temples and on the banks of the river Ganga in Varanasi, besides playing outside the famous Vishwanath temple in Varanasi. He received his training under his uncle, the late Ali Baksh Vilaitu, a Shehnai player attached to the Varanasi's Vishwanath temple. Khan was perhaps single-handedly responsible for making the Shehnai a famous classical instrument. He brought the Shehnai to the center stage of Indian music with his concert in the Calcutta All India Music Conference in 1937. He was credited with having almost monopoly over the instrument, as he and the Shehnai are almost synonymous. Khan was one of the finest musicians in the post-independent Indian classical music and one of the best examples of Hindu-Muslim unity in India. His concept of music was very beautiful and his vision superb. He once said, "Even if the world ends, the music will still survive," and he often said, "Music has no caste." He has played in Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Europe, Iran, Iraq, Canada, West Africa, USA, USSR, Japan, Hong Kong, and almost every capital city across the world. Khan had the rare honor of performing at Delhi's Red Fort on the eve of India's independence in 1947. He also performed Raga Kafi from the Red Fort on the eve of India's first Republic Day ceremony on January 26, 1950. His recital had almost become a cultural part of the Independence Day celebrations telecast on Doordarshan every year on 15th of August. After the Prime Minister's speech from the Lal Killa in Old Delhi, Doordarshan broadcast live performance by the Shehnai Maestro. And this tradition had been going on since the days of Pandit Nehru. Bismillah Khan had honorary doctorates from the Banaras Hindu University and the Vishwabharati University Shanti Niketan. Khan had a brief association with movies. He played the Shehnai for Dr. Rajkumar's role of Appanna in the movie Sanadi Appanna. He acted in Jal Sagar, a movie by Satyajit Ray, and provided the sound of Shehnai in Goonj Uthi Shehnai. Noted director Gautam Ghosh directed Sange Meel Se Mulaqat, a documentary about the life of Khan. On August 17, 2006, Ustad Bismillah Khan was taken ill and admitted to the Heritage Hospital Varanasi for treatment. He died after 4 days on August 21, 2006 due to a cardiac arrest. He was 90 years old and is survived by 5 sons, 3 daughters and a large number of grandchildren and great-grandchildren. The government of India declared one day of national mourning on his death. His body was buried at Fateh burial ground of Old Varanasi under a neem tree with 21 gun salute from Indian Army. Ustad Bismillah Khan told the editor of Illustrated Weekly of India about one incident. Every morning, Bismillah Khan's uncle Ali Baksh would visit the adjacent Jadhav Sri Balaji Mahavishnu temple. He earned ₹4 a month by playing the Shehnai for the entire day. Bismillah would sometimes follow him in the morning, listen to his music, and get captivated and perplexed. Uncle and nephew walked to the Balaji temple after morning sessions at the Jadhav temple. Ali Baksh had a room designated for him. He practiced for around 5 hours a day there. When Ali Baksh finished practicing, he discovered Bismillah seated next to him, listening and hungry. Bismillah never bothered his uncle. Bismillah was always perplexed as to why his uncle went to the Balaji temple room to practice when he could do so at home without being bothered. He asked his uncle one day, unable to contain his eagerness. Uncle Ali stroked his locks and answered, "You will learn it one day." Bismillah was quick to ask, "But Mamu, when will I start playing Shehnai?" "Why talk about when? You're going to start today," he said. Uncle Ali escorted Bismillah to the Jadhav Mahavishnu temple that evening and then to the room of the Balaji temple where he had practiced for almost 18 years after the nightly Shehnai recital. Uncle Ali finally gave Bismillah Khan permission to practice there. Uncle Ali, on the other hand, arrived with a warning. "In this temple, if you happen to experience or see anything exceptional, don't tell anything to anyone." Bismillah was overjoyed and practiced for 4 to 6 hours in the room. He experimented and discovered new heights and depths of musical scales and melodies, oblivious of the changes taking on outside the four walls. Bismillah's desire to improve his music overtook him. Bismillah Khan was alone on the premises of Balaji temple around 4 a.m. immersed in his Shehnai practice. He became aware that someone was seated next to him. It was none other than Bhagwan Balaji. Bismillah Khan remained stunned and speechless. Then Bhagwan Sri Balaji responded, "Play," with a smile. Khan, on the other hand, was still too astonished to continue. Bhagwan Balaji then grinned and walked away. Bismillah Khan went to Ali, his guru and uncle, later that day and told him about his encounter at the Balaji temple. "Did I not tell you not to say anything to anyone?" Uncle slapped him on the cheek. The Shehnai master Ustad Bismillah Khan had a close meeting with Sri Krishna. Despite his Muslim faith, the famed Ustad held enormous regard for Sri Krishna, which may have led the compassionate Lord to appear in person. This story is based on an interview with Ustad Bismillah Khan, which was published in Malayalam Manorama by Dr. Madhu Vasudevan. Ustad Bismillah Khan was travelling by train from Jamshedpur to Varanasi many years ago. Ustad was travelling in the third-class compartment on a coal-run passenger train. A young cowherd boy boarded the bogie in which Ustad was sitting from an intermediate rural railway station. He was a dark and skinny young man and he was playing the flute. Slowly the young man began to play his flute. The maestro Ustad, who had no idea what raga the youngster was playing, was taken aback by the superior quality of his music. The boy, according to Ustad Bismillah Khan, is none other than Sri Krishna, the Supreme God himself. Ustad's heart was filled with ecstasy as the nectar in Nada Brahman streaming from Krishna's flute filled him with joy, and tears of joy began to flow from his eyes. After the incredible performance, Ustad drew the younger close and handed him a quarter, asking him to play the song again. Krishna was happy to help. This cycle continued until Ustad's cash was depleted. Krishna disembarked at the next railway station and vanished. In fact, Ustad was on his way to take part in a Kumbh Mela related music concert. Ustad delivered the new raga which he learned that day from Krishna at that concert. The audience adored this melodic raga and requested Ustad to sing it again and again. The music scholars in the area couldn't figure out what the raga was called, so they questioned Bismillah Khan about it. The raga's name is Kanharira, according to Ustad. The next day's newspapers carried stories about Ustad Bismillah Khan's new melodious raga. After reading it, Hari Prasad Chaurasia, the famous flautist, inquired about the intricacies of the Kanharira raga from Bismillah Khan. Ustad confessed the truth and sang Kanharira, eliciting joyous tears from Hari Prasad Chaurasia, the world's greatest flautist. Kanharira is a holy gem in Indian music as it came from Sri Krishna's lotus lips, the god of gods. When it comes to honoring his disciples, Bhagavan Sri Krishna's methods are mysterious.